The Predator versus Naru. Child, the Predator versus Naru with a assist from the dog. Y'all, Naru couldn't get the deal, but she ended up getting the Predator. Child. And she sees them slice his chest. Why in the world, when they was tied to the tree, did Naru say, "Are you hurt? Are you hurt?" Bitch, they just sliced my chest. Yes, I'm hurt, girl. What's up? It's Nikki. Welcome back to my channel, King Nikki TV, where I give you commentary on popular movies and TV shows. In this video, I will be reviewing the new Predator movie, Prey. I am a huge fan of Predator, so I was excited for this. Y'all, this one was good. It did not disappoint. For me, this is what Predator movies are supposed to be. This style of filmmaking, this atmosphere, this type of story. Prey is the origin story of the Predator, and it takes place 300 years ago. We follow a Comanche tribe that encounters the Predator. Nah, though I love this movie, I am not really sure why they are calling it the Predator origin story, because to me, the Predator origin story would mean we on the Predator's planet and we following a bunch of Predators, child. But whatever. It's the origin story of Predator on Earth, I guess. What stood out to me right off the bat with this movie, right off the bat, is that visually this movie looks really good. I loved how the movie was shot. The wilderness shots. The wilderness for me felt like another character. And I love movies where the location feels like a character, if that makes sense. The wilderness is as much a part of the story as Naru and the Predator. So many scenes just visually look good. Nah, I don't know if it was just me, but I hated the style of the title when it comes on screen at the beginning. Y'all, was it just me? I felt like it looked shanky and it looked dated. I don't know. I also loved all the references to Predator and Predator 2 in this movie. Now, look, Prey by no means tries to like rip off or copy the previous or the first two. They came in and did their own thing, but stayed true to the style and formula of the original Predator that we were first introduced to. You know, I saw references, which I feel like they were pretty much just paying homage. It wasn't a carbon copy, but just a few references that I caught, which I'm sure I may have missed some. Obviously, when Tobby, the brother of our main character, says, "If it bleeds, we can kill it." Classic line from Arnold in the original Predator. Then at the end of the movie, great climactic sequence, by the way, towards the end. But at the end of the movie, when Naru is setting up the Predator, and she's sitting there like, "Come on, do it." Obviously, this is from Arnold. "Come on, I'm here. Kill me. Come on, I'm here." I can't do the accent, child, but y'all know. Y'all know the line. When the Frenchman sliced Tobby's chest, that was reminiscent of Billy, I think was the character name. But the guy in Predator who slices his chest to take on the Predator, the gun that Naru takes back to her village, the gun she gets from the Frenchman, was a reference to Predator 2. At the end of that movie, after Danny Glover beats the Predator, spoiler alert, I guess. After Danny Glover beats the Predator, the elder Predator comes and hands him the gun. But I'm confused, child, because I feel like, y'all, did I miss something? But the same etching and writing is exactly the same. So if Naru brought the gun back to her tribe, then how do Predators get it back? I sure hate to think that they came back and slaughtered the dang tribe, child. Now, the only other Predator 2 reference that I caught was Danny Glover chopped off the Predator's arm with his own weapon in Predator 2. And as did Naru, which was a scene that I freaking love. Guys, let me know in the comments if you caught any other references that I might have missed. Another highlight of this movie for me was the design of the Predator. Child, something about this Predator was just, I want to say, eerie, animalistic, intimidating. There is something about the Predator character in general that is just so iconic, so timeless. The dreadlocks, the helmet, the moment the true face is revealed. the build of the Predator sound, the little sound he makes. One thing that stood out for me though about the Predator in Prey was that this felt to me like the most human-like, human-esque Predator design. I mean, guys, okay, pay attention to the Predator hands, right? If you look at the Predator hands in Predator and Predator 2, and then look at the Predator hands in Prey, these are the most human-like hands I have seen the Predator have. Baby, when did the Predator get a six-pack? Like, child, I don't know. He was very human to me. And look, the human actor always is in the Predator costume. But for me, Predator always looked more beast, alien than man. And in Prey, he looks more man-beast to me. Now, this isn't a negative. Like I said, I absolutely love the Predator design in Prey. I'm happy they scaled back the Predator technology, because that's one thing I was thinking when I saw the preview. I was like, okay, so, I mean, it is only logical that hundreds of years before the 1987 Predator, they would not have the same technology. I mean, technology advances, and that was one advantage of the Predator, is the fact that they have much more advanced technology than us. But if we are going back to a primitive time, it only makes sense that the Predator technology would not have been, you know, as advanced yet as the technology we saw in 1987. Still, obviously, technology more advanced than the humans. I really loved how simple the story is that we are given in Prey. I love a complex narrative as much as the next person, but it is not always needed, and it doesn't always work with every idea. Predator 1987 was a simple story. The focus was the Predator, and that worked. It works here as well. We follow Naru and her dog. Y'all, child, look. I love this dang dog, child. And I have to say, I love that the dog was not just used as some cheap emotional ploy. You know, in stories like this, child, and I said this in my trailer reaction, typically how it works, you kill the dog as like a cheap emotional ploy. You know what I mean? I love that the dog does not die, and I actually feel that is more realistic than killing the dog off just, you know how they do. The dog was active in the fighting. He was active in the hunting. He was a real, actual part of the story, and I love that. And it also, the dog was a real part of the story, but it wasn't too much. It wasn't over the top, and it made sense. They really created a great balance of showing the dog when it made sense for him to be there, including the dog when it made sense for him to be included, and then leaving him out when it made sense. So we get Naru out trying to hunt a deer. Y'all, Naru couldn't get the deer, but she ended up getting the Predator. Child, I really, really love Naru, y'all. I love Naru. I haven't loved a Predator character this much since Bill Paxton. Naru as a character and her story felt really fresh and relevant. Now, I get kind of annoyed when people are like, we've seen this character. Well, baby, we done seen a lot of characters that people love. I mean, the meathead, macho men, elite military guys, seen them. For me, I don't see a character I like and then be like, oh, I never want to see this type of character ever again. It depends on how it is done, how the character is presented to us. I feel like we're getting Native Americans, we're getting the Comanche tribe, we're back in a certain time period. The narrative makes sense. The character makes sense. I feel like Naru was presented to us in a fresh way. It was not overdone. It was not over the top. It was not on the nose in any way. It wasn't preachy in any way. It didn't feel cliche. And given the time period the movie set in, baby, it makes sense. Like, what? I don't understand. Look. I mean, we have seen the John Wick character a million times, and people still love those movies. So, I don't know. Don't talk to me about we done seen this character, baby. It's a lot of characters we done seen. Now, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the character. And you know what? Another reason that I really love Naru's character, and just all the characters in general, is because I love seeing people we don't see. How many times do we see Native Americans headlining a movie? Like, the cast is Native Americans or natives, Comanche tribe. I don't know if the actors or Kamachi. But y'all get what I'm saying. Like, we're seeing folk we don't always see. And I love that personally. Like, I love to see folk in movies that I don't always see. We got The Frenchman, but we pretty much got a movie that is comprised of Naru and her tribe. And I love that. I love to see folk that I don't normally see in movies. I'm glad they got a chance to shine. I thought all the actors did superbly. I thought they were all really great. I believed everybody. Now, when I saw the preview, I was like, I'm not underestimating the tribe, bro. But baby, how y'all gonna go up against the technology of the Predator with bow and arrows, child? I did not know how they was gonna make it make sense. Y'all, they did good. They did good. It made sense. It felt realistic. The fight scenes were so good. Such excellent combat of the tribe versus the Predator. Great tension, and it felt realistic. The atmosphere felt so good. Baby, Naru ran every time she came face to face with a Predator. And it don't get no more realistic than that, child. The survival of Naru felt realistic. I believed it. Now, my favorite part of the movie is when Naru goes off after the Predator on her own. The tribesmen do not believe her that there is a threat out there, or that there is this threat that she is specifically describing. They don't believe that she can hunt. Child, she go at them and they're like, baby, we don't need no cook. From here on out, the movie is just flying. First of all, the movie is well paced in my opinion. But once we get to this moment when Naru goes off, there isn't a dull moment. But it doesn't feel like, you know how you see those movies where it's like very boring and then they just jam-pack a lot of action in the final act? That didn't feel like that with this movie. The story unfolded very well for me. Now, y'all, when the Frenchman captured Naru and Tabi, right? And she sees them slice his chest. Why in the world, when they was tied to the tree, did Naru say, "Are you hurt? Are you hurt?" Bitch, they just sliced my chest. Yes, I'm hurt, girl. That tripped me out, y'all. The Predator walking into the Frenchman trap. I love that scene. Look, I love that the Predator did not come off as invincible. The Predator was getting hurt more than John Wick. He was getting hurt, and the moments when someone was able to hurt him, I believed it. Now, once Naru and Tabi get themselves free, and Tabi goes to get the horse, Naru goes to save her dog because the Frenchman captured him as well. Baby, Naru versus the like 5 or 6 Frenchmen was so freaking good and exciting, well executed. That was so exciting. Y'all, I played that one scene back like 3 times when I watched the movie. I played a few scenes back. Y'all, when the Predator is about to go at the dog and Tabi runs up on the horse, y'all, it was so good. Child, Tabi was tearing the Predator ass up. You hear me? I sure wish they knew to keep that dang helmet away from the Predator. Now, at first, I was mad at the Predator, y'all. I was mad because I was like, my G, why you gotta go run and scurry and put your little helmet on and turn on your little invisibility? Because you losing? But you know what? Nah, you know what? You use what you have in your arsenal. So I ain't even mad at the Predator, but it hurt my heart when Tabi died, y'all. It hurt my heart even more so because he was the worthy fighter. He was winning against the Predator, but the Predator had the advantage of technology. I was halfway thinking though, if we would have just stayed tied up to that tree, Tabi would have lived because the Predator don't kill you if you unarmed, if you're not a threat. But if we stayed tied up, the Frenchman would have killed the dog, child. So either way, we'd have lost somebody. Sorry, Tabi, you had to be the one. After Tabi is killed, Naru runs off and she sets up her final battle. The Predator versus Naru. Child, the Predator versus Naru with an assist from the dog. First, Naru gets the leader of the Frenchman group that cut her brother. I love this, y'all. I cannot rave about this ish enough. I was so excited watching this scene. I absolutely loved her speech to the Frenchman. You think that I'm not a threat? And that is what makes me dangerous. You can't see that I'm killing you and it won't either. Yes, girl. Yes. How can you not love her character, child? How can you not say this ish is not relevant? This was so good. Now, when back at the camp getting her dog, Naru helps one of the Frenchmen in exchange for him showing her how to use a gun, right? She gives him some medicine that makes the blood go cold. She notices that the predator cannot see him, which actually, he would have lived if his little behind hadn't moved and got in the way of where the predator was walking. I really liked how they did this, though. The predator scene by body heat is essential in how he hunts us, and it's typically essential in how you survive the predator in, you know, the first one. So I'm glad they didn't do the mud thing again. I'm glad they made it where it made sense for this story and for where we are. Naru versus the predator was the greatest motherfucking showdown. This final showdown was so freaking good. Naru versus the Predator is what Ryan Gosling versus Chris Evans failed to be in The Gray Man. Okay, that was a terrible final showdown. This is an amazing final showdown. Naru versus the Predator. Yo, first of all, they choreographed the hell out of the fights in this movie. They did that. I would love to see the making of this movie. Oh, I just feel like that would be so exciting. I love when a movie foreshadows something early on. I knew that sinkhole, quicksand thingy, whatever it's called, I knew that would come into play later in the movie. Naru watching the Predator and how his technology works, I knew these things was going to come into play. And it's not always brawn, sometimes it's brain, which the Predator isn't just strength, he is smart, but Naru was able to outsmart him, and it was so freaking good. It made sense. I loved when she went to kill the Predator and she was like, this is as far as you go, no more. Taking us back to what Tybee said. Man, I was like, oh, pour one out for Tybee. Why did I love his character so much? I did. I love Naru's scream after she killed the Predator child. I felt that. Like, I love that scream. Y'all, I am so excited about this movie. If you can't tell. Maybe even more excited because I have not gotten, like, we haven't been given a great Predator movie since 1990 in my opinion. I watched all the Predator movies, okay? Every time they came out with one, I was there front and center. I was in a movie theater watching the last one that came out like a few years ago. I have stayed faithful to the Predator franchise. But it is like loving something and just watching it be mediocre. I finally got to see Predator be great, and that for me was exciting. Y'all, I have seen this movie like 600, 700, 11 times since it was released. But I'm that type of moviegoer. If I like something, I will watch it over and over again. If I don't watch it again, that means I didn't think it was very good. I'm going to give Prey a 7 out of 10. This was a really very well made movie in general, but it also holds its own against Predator and Predator 2. Look, nothing gonna ever be the original. And I mean, that shouldn't even be an argument. That shouldn't even be a talking point. At this point in cinematic history, that shouldn't even be a question. But Prey does justice to the Predator franchise. Finally, Hollywood done put some respect on the Predator name, baby. Now they need to go do it with, you know, some of them other ones. Thank you so much for watching this video and for supporting the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.